Although John Stuart Mill favored markets and private property, he still made a strong case for socialism. As we've noted, Mill thought that English customs and law hardly created an ideal system of private property. He argued that the British property system was more the result of custom and peacekeeping than of justice. It was designed to prevent fights over property. He also argued that in old European societies, property was often acquired by force and plunder. It was then handed down to those who had no proper claim to it. Finally, he held that land is not itself the product of human effort, and so it should rightly belong to all in common. Only improvements in land provided grounds for private ownership. "No man made the land," he wrote. "It is the original inheritance of the whole species. Its appropriation is wholly of general expediency. When private property in land is not expedient, it is unjust." Remember that in Mill's time, no country had tried large-scale socialism. Mill didn't doubt that on a small scale, such as a religious community or a village, it could work. But what about a whole economy? Would workers shirk their duties if their labor was separated from its reward? Maybe. But Mill pointed out that in England, most people were paid day wages or a salary. Such salaried workers still needed supervision. That made it little different, in his mind, from socialism. Okay, but wouldn't the birth rate swell if parents were relieved of their responsibility to provide for their children? Perhaps. But Mill pointed to England's poor laws, which were subject to the same complaint. He thought the strongest argument against socialism was that it offered no good way to connect workers to the tasks that suited them best. Even still, Mill thought this was not a fatal objection. "Perhaps socialism was worth a try," he wrote, "given the inequality and injustice with which labor, not to mention remuneration, is now apportioned." Though Mill worried that such systems could erode liberty and initiative, he thought there was not enough evidence, in his time at least, to judge whether the promise of socialism was real or illusory.